The book is titled Buddha's Brain. Does one have to be a Buddhist to get involved in this?
Great question. No. And frankly, it's a convenient title. The two B's go together right there, alliteration. But beyond that, I am a practicing Buddhist to the extent that that term means anything, I guess. And what struck me is that if you want to get good at anything, it makes sense to study the people that are good at it. So if you want to learn how to cook, you watch Top Chef, as our family's addicted to it. If you want to get really happy or really wise or really peaceful or ultimately awakened, which is, personal interest for me and for many people, it makes sense to figure out what in the world is going on inside the black box, if you will, to the extent that those states are about what's happening in the brain, and I think they are to a large degree. It makes sense to study what in the world is going on inside the brain of those people in those states or far, far along the path, and then reverse engineer it by using mental factors, maybe skillfully aided by things like having protein with every meal, but basically using mental factors, in other words, how you use your mind to sculpt and to stimulate and strengthen those neural factors that promote these very elevated states of mind. And that's why I thought the title Buddha's Brain made sense to me. But you don't have to be a practicing Buddhist. On the other hand, it is true that for those people that do have an interest in Buddhism, I tried to reimagine and reinvent Buddhism in the framework of evolutionary neuropsychology. For example, why did we evolve to suffer? Because if you understand the causes of something, then you can understand what it will take to fix it or change it or end it. And so by understanding the causes of suffering in the brain itself, then you can start to do something about it. Also by understanding the positive factors inside the brain that enable us to do things like, for example, have tranquility or have intensely positive emotional experiences, which are skillful means, because intensely positive emotion, among other things, helps steady the mind. It also rewards us for doing those things that are wholesome and positive and kind of going against our own tendencies. I often think the really important thing in life is to help yourself want to do the stuff that's good for you but you don't want to do. In other words, that's the key. It's easy to do what's good for you that you want to do. The trick is, of course, to do the stuff that's good for you that you don't want to do. So helping yourself increasingly incline in that direction and want to do what's good for you in a way that's self-directed seems to me to be a really, really useful thing. And positive emotion is like that. It's rewarding, but it's interesting. The hormones that are associated with positive emotion, like dopamine, or neurotransmitters really, dopamine and norepinephrine, stimulate synaptic formation. In other words, positive emotions neurologically heighten learning, which any school teacher knows, but that's kind of the alchemy thing. They know it works, but they don't quite know why. Increasingly, we're knowing why, and therefore we can really stimulate that factor. I mean, for me, it's been interesting to come to Buddhism, which has this rap of being very dour and grim, First Noble Truth, life sucks, right? There is suffering. And to start to appreciate how much in the Dharma is this emphasis on positive emotion, on joy as a factor of enlightenment. 2 of the 5 factors of deep states of absorption, the jhanas, are positive emotion, bliss, and happiness. That's pretty cool.